everyone, welcome back to today's podcast, which is about leading to leadership, and where we invite the different women leaders across the world who has made impact into their own field. And the whole purpose of this podcast is to inspire more women at the leadership position. And today, we have invited somebody who hails from Canada. She is a certified executive coach who specialized in the leadership development and workplace wellness, and also the founder and owner of Morningstar Centre for Engagement, headquartered in Kingston, Ontario, Canada. I just want to share one of, recent, like I won't say recent, but yes, she has also been honored to be featured as a speaker for the World Business Executive Coach Summit, which is a global platform for presentation by industry icons. And I think I would love to tell more about her because few things she has just told me very, very, just few minutes back about her, few of the acknowledgements. It is, always good to know from somebody who is living this journey. So please welcome Carolyn Hamilton-Kuby. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for coming today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Himani. It's a pleasure. And I did want to just share that um, where I live is Kingston, Ontario, Canada,
Hmm.
which is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Huron-Wendat people.
Wow, I think, and yeah, I'd also love to know, can you share about your recent award also, which you have just won?
Oh my goodness, Himani, thank you. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. It is an honor to have an honorable mention in the Accomplished Coach category for the International Coaching Federation um, Coaching Impact Awards for 2024. And so I'm very grateful for that beautiful honor and just sending congratulations to the winners and others who had the honorable mentions.
It's really good to hear, Carolyn. Thank you so much for sharing that and congratulations for that.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Carolyn,
It's, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Please, 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 yeah.
It thank you so much again, Himani. And the timing is interesting. It's my 15th year as a coach, a credentialed coach with the International Coaching Federation, and as a certified executive coach. And I'm celebrating my 22nd year in business. So it, just anything over the 1 year mark was a celebration for me. And as I'm heading toward that 25-year mark, it's super exciting. So I bring that experience and specialization in leadership development as you shared, and
Yeah.
also team building and in coaching, as a coach, as a professional specialist in coaching. I'm also um, as you said, PCC, CEC. I am a coach educator, mentor coach, and coaching supervisor as well. So professional coach development is a specialization in itself.
Mhm.
Before I opened my business, I was in the Canadian federal government, and I was an HR professional in leadership positions at local, regional, and corporate levels. And so I bring all of that experience and specialization to my business.
Wow, that's such a great experience you have, Carolyn. And Kelly, would love to know more about the different ways the coaching can help the organizations, today. Because why this is, I would say, very touching topic because I feel, yes, ICF and EMCC and different bodies and different coaches, they are doing a great work into this field of coaching to spread out the awareness, the way it can bring the impact to a lot of organizations and individuals. But I still feel that there is still a lot of gap where maybe, which we were discussing, maybe small and medium companies not able to invest much, and maybe the big organization is still taking time to bring the coaching into the companies for their employees. Yeah. So, just thought today to share few of the ways the coaching can help maybe the organizations. So, I would love to ask you, like, one of the first question is like, what role does coaching play and helping employees during the times of change because employees of course when they work within a maybe same company or maybe within different companies everyone goes through the different transitions into their life. Yeah.
And you named it. It is that transition
Yeah.
within the change, right? That
Yeah.
studies have shown it has the major impact. It's not the change itself, it's the transition, the adjusting. And I guess I'd like to preface what I share by saying it's based on my experience. And also, that the managing of change, transition in the workplace starts with leadership and the organization itself. Because all the coaching in the world, good luck if
Mm-hmm.
solid leadership and commitment by the organization as well to a culture of psychological safety, belonging, respect, inclusiveness, open communication.
Yeah.
If those foundations aren't in place, you know, coaching can help. However, to optimize coaching, use it to the fullest of the
Mm-hmm.
investment that organizations have put in, um, those key elements have to be in place. The other thing I'd like to share is
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be in place is that the person being coached, that employee, has to want coaching, be willing
Mm-hmm.
to be coached, and to open to coaching and willing to work their action plan or forward movement, if you will, because that's just at the basis of coaching. And so those elements have to be in place, quite honestly, to really optimize and maximize the coaching experience. Coaching can help to
Mm-hmm.
maximize it. Those elements have to be in place. And so I love this question because coaching can play a crucial role in helping employees navigate change and leaders. What I'm going to share
Mm-hmm.
applies to employees and leaders every level of the organization. Um, and a couple of key ways that can unfold is through providing support,
Yeah.
facilitating self-reflection, self-awareness, and forward movement. And so I thought maybe I'll just delve into each of those. The provision of support.
Mm-hmm.
As coaches, we provide a safe and supportive space for our clients, again, whether employees or leaders, to express concerns in a confidential forum, right?
Yeah.
And non-judgmental, totally accepting. And so they can share with vulnerability and transparency. And that's where real internal change can happen
Yeah.
around external change. And I don't know about you, Hamani, but oftentimes when personally I've experienced this and
Mm-hmm.
professionally I've seen it, that when people are in the midst of change, there can be fear of unknown at the base
Yeah.
of it, right? And that can create overwhelm, which can create a fog, if you will. And
Mm-hmm.
um, so that leads into the self-reflective piece that coaching can, in that safe, supportive environment, which is key upfront, and to maintain that the coach can help create a space where the client can um, take space and time to reflect. Because when do we otherwise?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, life and work it's hectic. It can be busy, and or we may not give that the priority, and that element of reflection, space and time to sit back and ponder is so important. So that's part of the gift of coaching as well. And
Mm-hmm.
in that self-reflection, I mean, various aspects can surface up around change. In my experience, some key elements that surface are around the employee um, considering their reactions to the change,
Mm-hmm.
stepping back and considering and observing how they're reacting, how they're showing up in the midst of change. That then leads into the facilitation of self-awareness. That's
Yeah.
another gift in coaching. And so that client gets increased insight, new learning
Mm-hmm.
about ways to handle the change. The overwhelm shifts, the fog starts to lift with
Mm-hmm.
clarity. So that self-awareness can lead to clarity. And with that clarity around those new insights, new learning, um,
Mm-hmm.
new takeaways that they hadn't thought of, or maybe reminders of what they've done in the past that work, um, the coach can then help the client integrate and apply that new learning into forward movement and action. And so it can be empowering, totally, truly empowering, empowering, and um, in doing so, coaching helps shine a light for that client on what they can control when they're in the midst of a lot of what they can't control.
Mm-hmm. Kalin, I have a question here from you. Yes, a lot of organizations, they are hiring the coaches for their employees and they understand its importance because a lot of HR, they also go through the training for the coaching. But
Mm-hmm.
still, I would say there's a huge gap, like, where the companies are not maybe, I would say, hiring the coaching, even they know the importance. And even they understand also that there can be a requirement and that can really help. So where do you see, like, what is the gap coming here? What is the reason behind it?
And I'm sorry, the gap behind.
Yeah, so the gap behind, like, where coaching is still taking time to accept into the organizations. Yeah.
Hmm. Why organizations are not necessarily open to bringing coaching on? Did I get that
Yes. And
right?
also,
Thank you.
I've seen the reluctance or style hesitation from the leaders also to
Hmm.
go for the coaching sessions.
Oh, interesting. Right. So what I'm hearing is, yes, what is that hesitation for
Mm-hmm.
organizations investing and perhaps leaders uh, s- stepping in for coaching?
Yes. Yes.
It- It's a great question. And my sense is, it's just the world according to me. However, my
Mm-hmm.
sense is that there there needs to be more education around it, what coaching is, the impact of coaching. I think because there are a lot of different kinds of coaching out there, um, it can be hard for those outside of the credentialed coaching industry to see the difference between coaching and consulting, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so there's an education piece. I think that's part of it around what coaching is, and the other part is around an education piece around the return of investment, the impact.
True.
Yeah.
Yes. I think yes, the ROI is something like maybe the organizations, if they understand, it can really help to implement that. Yeah.
I agree. And leaders to your second
Mm-hmm.
question, Himani, and for
Yeah.
leaders as well. And can
Mm-hmm.
I just put out there a great way
Mm-hmm.
to help around that education piece is to provide a coaching demo, whether it's, live
Mm-hmm.
or video, and the person sees, the organization stakeholders see exactly what's involved.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah. And with that, I'll just come to my, second question is like, how can coaching help employees feel supported and grounded when the company is going through a rough patch?
Well, it's a great question. And I will say all of what I just shared is
Yes,
part of
yes,
it, right? The support
yes,
piece and what
yeah,
happens in the coaching session around
yeah.
self-reflection, self-awareness, and forward movement. And coaching in that context can help the clients really um, shift into identifying strengths,
Mm-hmm,
and leverage those strengths. Often during rough patches, as you shared, challenging times, if you will, um, the adrenaline factor
mm-hmm,
is up and running, and it's challenging to get that clarity and to
mm-hmm,
really connect to our strengths. And so coaching can shine a light on that, and as well
yeah,
as on ways to help address the challenges that the employee and or leader are dealing with.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and in helping those clients identify strengths, leverage them, address challenges, um, the result can be that confidence is boosted, Amani,
yeah,
and self-esteem is increased.
yeah,
And that coaching can help identify resources external and internal resources to help navigate those challenges. And so helping to identify resources externally, you know, where could you go? What could you do? All those great questions to help the person reach out for support. Sometimes that in itself is a challenge, helping the
Yeah.
person get over asking for support. That may be the
Mm-hmm.
challenge in itself.
Yeah.
In terms of internal supports, helping them tap into, recognize, or create, develop, build resilience,
Mm-hmm.
perseverance, determination, tap into
Yeah.
their humor. Any levels of supports internally, externally that can help them through the rough patches. And so, in those ways, it helps facilitate empowerment, um, just by virtue of increased confidence, as I said, self-esteem, and maybe even a mindset shift, if you will,
Yeah. Which takes a lot of
from
efforts.
right
Yeah.
from what's not working, that can be the focus, what's not
Mm-hmm.
working, and to shifting to looking at what is working or what can I do in the midst
Mm-hmm.
of this challenging time. That can be
Yeah.
very empowering. And it also can help employees focus on their own personal and professional goals, and
Mm-hmm.
apart from whatever's happening in the organization. And that can give a sense of purpose and direction, which can then help give a sense of stability during those
Mm-hmm.
times,
True.
right?
Yeah.
And so during the storms, if you will, going back to the rough patches, there are storms in life, there are storms, at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I love this quote, which has been attributed to various people, so I can't zero in on the author.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, you can't change the wind, but you can adjust your sail. And so we as coaches help the clients, employees or leaders, adjust their sails. They
Yeah.
have the wisdom, we help them figure out how to do it.
True. And Kellen, with this, I want to share two instances. Like, I want to say not only leaders, but of course, a lot of people other also in the organizations. I've seen them when they need a support. Of course, that hesitation comes to take a support. And the reason behind is they feel that if they will take a support, maybe the superiors or the supervisors, leaders, they will think that this person maybe is not confident into their job. And because of that, they face all those, I would say, difficulties or the challenges, and they don't go and ask for that support which they require, right? Support, maybe they will ask, maybe immediate support, something which regarding to the work, but some support which can really help them pull up, they are not able to go and ask about it. And another thing also, when I was doing one of the podcasts with somebody, so she's into the STEM field, and she was mentioning about that a lot of women who are into the STEM field, they are not able to excel their career. The reason is this, because if you have to go in a STEM field, you have to upskill yourself. And to upskill yourself, of course, you needed time with yourself. Apart from that, the personal and family time, especially the mothers, who are coming back after the maternity period of time, they also need that kind of a coaching support. And of course, few organizations are giving that, but still a lot of organizations should think, to give that coaching to the women who are returning back from the career break. Yeah, yeah,
Yes, yes, and yes. I mean,
yeah.
coaching is the opportunities are limitless.
True.
It truly is a support tool for the organization. It's a support tool for employees and leaders, for the organization and the organizational wellness as a whole.
Correct. Yeah. And with this, I would like to ask you, Kelly, about one of the last question, like how can coaching support employees in managing stress and anxiety when a company is going through difficult times? Of course, I know you have
Hmm.
shared a lot, but still would love to know more. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes, thank you for asking that. And it's so true. Ditto to all of what I just shared. And
Yeah.
what surfaces up for me as you ask that, Hamani, is first and foremost as a coach,
Mm,
um, is to recognize the level of stress, the kind of stress and anxiety that client is experiencing, whether employee or
mhm.
leader. And if it is not a coaching issue per se, um, if it is outside of the coach's competence
Mm-hmm.
and expertise, if it is more of a counseling um, therapy issue,
Yeah.
then there's referral, right, to other helping professions, be it therapists, counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, employee
Mm-hmm.
assistance programs, mentors, whomever. So that's first and foremost. So let's say that it is a coachable, coachable topics around stress management and anxiety, because
Mm-hmm.
we all feel those for sure. We
True.
can coach on
True.
those. Um, and definitely it's understandable to feel those elements during difficult times in organizations and outside of work. So coaching can help, as I shared before, in all those ways, and
Mm-hmm.
to help the client identify stress management techniques, maybe some that they've used from the past and they've forgotten because that adrenaline factor is in place,
Mm-hmm.
in when anxiety and stress are in the midst. And I mean, maybe the person is dealing with the full-on stress reaction, fight, flight, or freeze, or in any one of those stages. And we can get stuck in them if the stress isn't resolved over time.
Yeah.
And so in those moments, it can be challenging just to remember tools, approaches that we use and have worked really well in the past. Coaching can
True.
help, right? People
Yeah.
remember, can also help people discover new ways to approach
Mm-hmm.
the stress, maybe some new techniques, ways to deal with it that they never thought of, or resources to reach out to. Um, in coaching, we part of what we do is facilitate, you know, new perspectives, help
Yeah.
facilitate new ways of looking at things. So it might mean that the client is able to consider the opportunities, say,
Mm-hmm.
in the midst of the difficult times, and reframe the situation even. It's kind of like I think of, the roller coaster, and
Mm-hmm.
two people are in the front of that roller coaster, and they're both screaming
Yeah.
at the top of their lungs,
Mm-hmm.
right in the front, both. And one is screaming, "Get me off of this roller coaster!" And the other's going, "Oh my gosh, this is so fun." Same experience, different reactions.
Yeah.
And so it may be through coaching that
Mm-hmm.
helping the client dig deep to their resources and possibly look at the situation for
Mm-hmm.
some positives, some opportunities, some possibilities, or not, but
Yeah.
we'll visit those possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
even
Thank you so
practice, by
much.
the way. Whoop.
Oh, no, no. Please say, please, please. Yeah. I know you're saying about the practice. You're actually right. So, when any client comes to me for coaching, okay, when you're mentioning about practice, I always ask them, how committed are you? Okay. Will you be accountable? Because Kelly, like, of course, we can take coaching from wherever, and but the thing is this, how we hold ourselves accountable for all those actions. If we are not doing that, I would always suggest my clients, please don't waste your money to invest on this. If you are holding yourself accountable, please come and then invest it, and you will see the results. Otherwise, it does not make sense. Yeah.
And I love that question, Hamani. It's so
Mm-hmm.
much more powerful to ask, how are you going to hold yourself accountable versus who can you reach out to as an accountability partner?
Yeah.
Asking how can you hold yourself accountable promotes autonomy, which can
Mm.
be empowering, which
Yeah.
can help during times of change, rough patches, or difficult times at
Mm.
work, at home.
True.
Yes, promoting that autonomy. The other aspect that I wanted to just touch on to help employees, leaders dealing with stress and anxiety during difficult times is that coaching can help with work-life flow. I don't know about balance. Sometimes we can balance
Yeah.
things, sometimes it's a challenge, at least flow.
Mm.
And To me, how do we coach people unless it's holistic? Because how we're feeling at work impacts life, and how what's happening at life impacts work. So I speak to
Mm.
work life flow. And wi- some key ways that we can do that is to help employees identify boundaries and prioritize self care. Both of those are crucial in maintaining mental well being during stressful times in and outside of the workplace. Yeah.
Well said, like Carolyn, and I would say thank you so much for giving so many insights today how the coaching can impact individuals and organizations. And yeah, I would love to say that anyone who wants to reach out to me and Carolyn, you can reach out to us on the LinkedIn. We are there. And if you want to tag us, you can tag us. If you have any question, please do that. And I hope all these, coaching insights can really help to our listeners. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for coming today.
Thank you so much. I hope it was of value to the listeners as well. Have a
Thank you,
lovely
Carolyn.
rest of your day.
Thank you.